Hey guys, Ninja here. Today I'm going to show you how to make an easy mouse trap or rat trap using materials you got around the house. Just a 5-gallon bucket you can pick up at Home Depot, some cardboard, and a coat hanger. Also tools, you're going to need a pair of pliers, needle nose preferably, just so you can work on the actual wiring, and then also a drill bit just slightly larger than the actual coat hanger. So whatever coat hanger you have, the thickness of the metal, make sure you get one that's slightly bigger than that, because we're going to drill through the bucket with that. Let me show you how it's done. Right, first things first, we're going to drill the holes. When I cut this, I did cut it to where it sit down slightly in the bucket, so it should be somewhere on this level is where I'm going to put my actual wire coat hanger, so that way for this to flip, it'll flip fine down there, and also it will make sure that the mouse actually has to jump down on top of it, so it's less likelihood for them to get out. And we'll do somewhere there. I'm going to go upward towards the top of that, just to go ahead and get a good spot in here. That hole's done. For my wire, I'm going to go ahead and just clip this wire at these edges here. That will give me enough to do some bends to actually put a stop on the inside, so that it doesn't really wobble back and forth. What you want to do is just bend like a little loop on the inside so that it'll flip and prevent it from sliding back and forth and wobbling out while the trap is in work, while the trap is working. So we're going to cut these at the ends. Spins really easy while it's in there, so that works perfectly. Now of course you have to thread this through here, so mainly I need to figure out where the center of this is. I'm going to put some glue on here, so that's going to do its own unbalancing. But this actually might be good. So I'm going to put some hot glue and some seeds on this side, and that's a good weight balance so that when the mouse jumps on here, he'll flip down, fall inside. All right, so now that I know where I want this, I'm going to go ahead and mark it. Just that way you can see where you're putting it in. It's going to be right there and right there. And the reason I'm trying to thread all this through here is so that I can find I'm not going to say the perfect center, but as close as I can be on that side, to where as you can see how I cut it out, I left a little bit of room on each side. So I just want to make sure that I don't get too close to one of the other sides and keep somewhere right in there. That actually looks perfect right there. So I'm just going to hold this with this side and see if I can just put a little pen mark right there where I want it. Okay, I've got it. All right, so now we're going to thread this back through. Again, I've got my marks on here. All right, so now you can see how it's going to work. Obviously, I have the bait on the side that's kind of up, because I'm actually put some glue over here too, so I'll put some glue and some seeds, hot glue them in place. That way when the mouse jumps down, he pretty much falls in the bucket, and then I'm going to weight it to the point where it will always come back up to level like this. All right, made a few changes in my design last night. I'm going to go ahead and set up this. This will be like a little platform for the ramp to lean on. So that'll give it something just to tie in to where they can climb straight up and jump down into here. I'm going to support it with some popsicle sticks up underneath, just kind of holding in this. I'm going to drill a couple holes here, and I'm just going to hot glue that all together, so that way that's all in place. On this part, I did go ahead and, after looking at it a couple times as well, so I'm going to bend this into like a U to where it'll actually punch through up here and then bend back over before it threads into the hole. So that way what it's going to do is it'll give it a counterweight up underneath of the metal, and then the metal up top will be what actually threads through the holes, because otherwise it's really hard to thread it through these holes. Because right now this would slide back and forth. I can hot glue it on both sides, that would prevent that. But then you have to also do something to the wire as well so it doesn't slide back and forth. And if you use hot glue, it'll bind on the plastic and then it'll just get stuck in a whatever kind of position it's in. This is nothing fancy. These are just 2 holes, just deep enough for the popsicle hole to go into, and some hot glue. All I'm trying to do is get something to where they'll go in like that, and then this part is going to rest pretty much right on the lip of the bucket. So I'm gonna have to shorten these a little bit. And for this, what I am gonna do is put, since I am gonna keep the handle on the bucket just to carry it down, I'm gonna put this just out of the way of the handle. When the handle comes up, it won't be affected. Just right up under the lip here is where I'm gonna hot glue it. And then just, I'll put the support braces up under there. So now I got my U. This is when I push up through here. That slides through. On this side, we're just going to bend this back. Exactly what I needed there. Now I can slide one side in without a problem. The other side I'll actually have to bend in. And this piece I'm going to bend it up just a little bit until I can get it where it needs to be. Turn it and slide that in place. And then go ahead and re-bend it back how it's supposed to be. You just turn it sideways to do that. So now that's in place. I can actually take the outsides and bend them as well. If I want to go ahead and bend either side of this just to make sure that this doesn't shift. But right now, this piece won't shift. So the centerpiece is not going to shift anymore. So all I really have to do is put a bend out here and then this will be good. And these I may bend to the sides. I'm going to have to clip these off so right now it actually binds right here. So all I do is put, since it's slightly off weight over here, I'll add my seeds and stuff on this side. I probably don't need the extra support. I just kind of like to do things overkill because I am going to take another 1x and rest it on this. So I just want to make sure this piece doesn't fall off, because if this falls off, the ramp falls off and nothing makes it up here. A nice little supported ramp here to come along. All right, so that looks like a nice little tasty treat for them. And on this side, I'm going to go ahead and just, again, this is my counterweight. This really doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever besides just giving me additional weight over here. That almost did it perfectly. A little off still, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more. So there we go. We got this glued down. We got the counterweight done. As soon as they hit this, they fall in, and it flips back up to the uprights itself. What I ended up doing on the ramp, instead of having to secure this to this board somehow, I ended up just and ran a bead of hot glue along here, and then ran a bead of hot glue along here. As you can see, once I put them together, the hot glue on hot glue sticks. It's really hard to move it. You can see I'm actually moving the entire bucket right now. So it sticks really well. And then again, for me to take it down and bring it back down, see, it comes right off. But that way I don't have to secure it to anything. There's nothing really going on but the ramp. So they'll come up the ramp and hopefully in there and bloop, to their doom.